All right, Brian Kelly met with reporters on Thursday night after practice, and then again his coach's show following that media session. And probably most notable for this game, I think, is going to be the injury situation. When you play a game like this, you know how I feel about it. I hate playing games like this. Nobody gets the schedule and goes, hell yeah, man, can't wait for that Southeastern game. It's just not reality. However, if you're going to play them, it's on the schedule, you look for what are the silver linings. What are the opportunities therein? Because the result is what it's going to be. LSU is going to win this game. They're going to win it handily. That will never be in doubt. The issue at hand will never be in doubt. But it is an opportunity here in the middle of September. You've played 3 games, and this is an opportunity to get some guys healthy that may need it before you go on the road to Ole Miss next week. So it almost acts as another bye in the event that you need it. So let's start with some of these injury updates for BK, and we kind of get a sense of who's going to play and what the expectation is. Let's start with Garrett Nussmeier. We know Nuss is going to play against Southeastern. This is Brian Kelly after practice on Thursday on why he's choosing to play Garrett Nussmeier this week.
Because he's feeling good. We had to limit a lot of things that we did the first, 3-4 weeks. And, he's finally coming to practice feeling good and getting into a good rhythm. This is his best week of practice. So we want him to go and play the game at a level where he's comfortable. And to hold him back really at this point would not be the right thing for him. So he's excited to play because he feels so much better. And I don't want to say, hey, he's back to the Garrett Nussmeier, but there were a lot of things that he couldn't do that he had to kind of adjust to. And it's good that he's back and doing the things and throwing the football the way he feels and comfortably.
I don't want to litigate this any further with what they were holding, what they were hiding, what could Nuss actually do, what couldn't he do. And Brian Kelly's spoken on this now 10 times since Monday, and I could go back and play audio from August and try to piece things together, and there's some contradictions and all that sort of stuff. The bottom line is, he's telling you now that Nussmeier's through the worst of it. He's doing things now that he wasn't doing before. And if LSU is going to be a championship team, which I think we all believe defensively, special teams, and the talent on offense, they have the capability of being. But if LSU is going to get there, the offense has got to get going. This is an opportunity to get right. This effectively is like a glorified scrimmage with a full dress rehearsal of sorts. So, yeah, go out there, play Garrett Nussmeier, keep him upright, get the offense functioning, get a big lead, and then get him out of the game, and let's see Michael Van Buren after that. But I am on board with playing Garrett Nussmeier because, number one, he's healthy, so play him. Number two, you need to have some success offensively. Like, you need to inject some of that life and good vibe into this offense, which hasn't been there the last 2 weeks. A couple of other updates. Brian Kelly at his press conference updated Trey'Dez Green and West Weeks. Of course, Trey'Dez with the MCL sprain, West Weeks with the calf strain from a week ago. Here's the update on those two.
Yeah, Trey'Dez was out at practice today, moving around, threw the ball to him a little bit. I would say that he is, for Saturday, we're going to put him probably, I think we said questionable. Yeah. And then West is doubtful. The
one thing that so first of all, I would not play Trey'Dez Green. That is senseless. You do not need Trey'Dez Green in this game. If he is in any way limited, give him another week. Hopefully get him ready to go against Ole Miss. The one disappointing thing about West Weeks potentially not playing, it sounds like he will not play. Brian Kelly said at his radio show that if this were like a championship game, West Weeks would play. But there's no need to play him in this game. I understand that. The one thing you won't see now is the 3 Weeks brothers playing on the field at the same time. There's a really cool opportunity, I think, this weekend for those young linebackers to get some reps. With West Weeks not playing, you'll see more of Devon Keys and Tylen Singleton and possibly Zach Weeks as well. So there may be, you're looking at what realistically are the opportunities to get the 3 Weeks brothers on the field at the same time. This was the FCS opponent on your schedule was probably the best opportunity to do it, but now that's not going to happen because of West Weeks' injury, unfortunately. But it's the right decision. give him the week, let him get healthier, get ready to go against Ole Miss, get those young linebackers some more game time. The other thing that Brian Kelly said in his radio show was an update on Braelin Moore, who, of course, was injured 2 weeks ago against Louisiana Tech, gutted it out and played last week. Here was the update, the decision on Braelin Moore.
Braelin's sore, obviously because he hasn't had the rest. He's going to need the bye week, but he'll be starting at center on Saturday.
That's the one where I go, I don't like that decision. If Braelin Moore is sore, and again, he is so critical to what you do offensively, and you saw the negative impact when he went out after the first play against Louisiana Tech and what that did to the interior of your offensive line. And Brian Kelly has now confirmed it as a high ankle sprain. That's one of those where I go, man, I get it that he wants to be out there. At some point, you have to pull back, take the 10,000-foot view, and realize how important Braelin Moore is for this team. And if you can give him a week, great. Give him a week off, man. Don't run the risk of having that problem be exacerbated any further, because that's something he's likely going to have to manage throughout the course of the remainder of this season. So I don't love that decision to play Braelin Moore. If he's limited in any way, I think that's one of the situations where I would rather see him sit. And then the other is an update on Destyn Hill. Remember, Destyn Hill, just two snaps against Clemson, broke his hand. And, Brian Kelly told us that it was going to require surgery. They're going to put a pin in there, but they hoped he'd be back in a week or two. Well, here's the update from Brian Kelly on Destyn Hill.
He hasn't had enough bone growth healing there. It's healing, so he's going to have to keep that cast on for another week. We'll get another diagnostic look at it on Tuesday. If he has enough bone growth density there, we can cut the cast down where he can't catch right now. So I think it'll depend on what it looks like on Tuesday, but he's getting really close.
Really tough for a receiver to play if he cannot catch. If you have a cast on your hand and you can't catch. Look, Destyn Hill is a physical receiver. That's really his role on this team, like what C.J. Daniels was a year ago. Great blocker, possession guy, physical presence on the outside. But LSU's receivers, as we've gone through the PFF grades every week, LSU's receivers have actually blocked exceptionally well. When you can get him back, great. But in the meantime, get him closer to healthier, and then you can get him ready to roll. So a weekend for a lot of guys to get right, but Nuss will play. Braelin Moore will play. West Weeks will not. Trey'Dez Green game time decision. Destyn Hill still on the shelf. Tigers have a great opportunity to get a lot of guys some work on Saturday against Southeastern Louisiana.
Hey, thanks so much for watching. Please leave your comments. I love to interact, and be sure to hit the red subscribe button below.